is the bishop. This is a simpler piece, although there are more parts. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here so you can see everything broken down into sections. And what we have is the first 3 pieces are the exact same that is on the rook. So I've just taken those and copied pasted them. That way they are exactly the same and we don't really have to deal with modifying those. The column or the curved column that goes up is slightly taller to accommodate for the fact that it's a bishop and it is a taller piece. I have used the torus again here, and my depth on this is about 28, or my diameter is 28, and the height of this thing is 26. The settings on this is a radius of 9 and a tube that is 5.25. Combine that with a cylinder that has a height of 24 instead of just 20, but a diameter of 20 on each, the length and the width there. And we should combine these together to make that wonderful shape. For this piece though, the top of this is going to get cut off. So the torus gives us a complete curve, but when it comes to actually putting these things together, we don't have a complete curve. So we're going to need to cut off the top of our curve. And I have created an 18 by 18 cylinder with a height of 12 that is, off the ground by around 26 or so. That is going to allow me to cut off the top of the cylinder to accommodate for the head structure here. So you can see I have this head structure and the curve goes up, but it gets cut. So the next part is the actual bishop head section. And what we have here is a cone that has a flat edge and it moves up, and there are a couple of rings surrounding this area, and then a spherical shape with a diagonal sort of cutout. It's also wearing this sort of little top hat sort of object. So for that cone, I created a cone. And it is about 13.5 in diameter with a height of 9.8. And then I go ahead and placed a tube that is 13.5 as well, so it matches. And it has a height of 0.87. These are, approximate numbers, and you may need to make some adjustments to make it look exactly right for yourself. But that is the bottom section. That gets combined with a couple of rings I have here. You can see my ring has a basic triangle design on the side, and it is a diameter of 10 with a height of 0.86, and they are just separated from each other a little ways. The other part that is a little bit trickier here is the actual spherical shape. So what I have is a sphere, and it is taller than its diameter. So this is 13.64, and the diameter is 11.8. So it's a little bit taller, not a lot taller, just a little bit. And then we've gone ahead and created a wedge sort of shape. This is a cube. What I've done with the cube is I have made it pretty small. This cube, if I were to flatten it out into a sort of a flat shape, this thing is going to have a thickness of about 1.6, and it is wider than I need it to be, 13.56 by 14.78. Again, those do not have to be exact. I'm cutting out more than I need to, but I'm going to angle that thing right around 38 degrees. And again, that's going to have to be a call on your side as to how much you want to angle that. But you want to basically cut that inside so that you create that nice shape. The next step here is to add this little top shape. If I were to zoom into this for you, this is very simple. If I were to ungroup, what we have here is a palabroid, and it also has a little palabra on the bottom. So the top one is going to be, 1 tall, the diameter of about 3.5. The bottom one is even smaller. It has a height of 0.4, so less than half, and a diameter of 3.5 again, so they match. Place one directly on top of the other, and place that on top of a cylinder. My cylinder is 2.72 with a height of 0.57. And again, you can make those a little more even if you like to make it, adjust just properly. Once I have all these guys together, they again line up perfectly. We want to make sure we do a little bit of operations here. First though, the column and the cylinder that cuts off the column, they need to be grouped first so that this column doesn't cut into everything else. That way they're cut off. Now I can select all these parts, center align them both ways, and group. And now we have our bishop. That's it.